So for today's video, I'm not going to be giving out criticism, mainly because, well, the update hasn't even rolled out yet. I more so want to give some thoughts as to what I want to see from this update, as well as some warnings. Keep in mind, the devlog has not been released yet, and by the time I've made this video, it could very well be out by now, or they'll release it a day before the update drops, which is more likely. When it does release, however, I'll give you my final thought. With that out of the way, let's talk about what we know. The next Roblox event for Danny's World is labeled 2-player machines. From the thumbnail, we could see 2 machines, double treadmill and double default. It's unclear if there will be double circle machines, but I see no reason for there not to be. So let's start off with the bad that could come from this update. There's a great possibility that the game could register these machines to be entirely different, and that scares me. One of the troubling aspects of RNG is that for you to want a particular is left entirely up to chance. For example, let's take the 3 machines that currently exist in the game. Single default machine, circle, and treadmill. If you wanted a treadmill machine, you have a 1 1/3 chance for it to spawn, which sucks because then that would mean for a 2/3 chance for a default or circle to spawn. Numerically, we're talking about 33% versus 66. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So you can already see how this rarity pool sucks for someone who wants to orient their build towards speed. If assuming the game registers these machines to be different, well, the odds are going to be a coin toss. You're talking about 3 out of 6 of the machines being potentially double. If you've ever played games with coin flip mechanics, you know how often it could be for you to land on tails several times in a row. Well, on the other hand, the opposite could take place. And that's what sucks about it. It's inconsistent. If these machines end up being faster, then would you really want to coin flip for a superior machine versus an inferior one? I don't think so. So now let's switch back to the optimistic side of things. Let's say these do end up being the default machines. Well, what then? For starters, people won't end up fighting for the machines, aka iCore or event resources. There's also the fact that slow extraction tunes won't make it feel like a drag anymore, since they can share with fast extraction based tunes. Another positive is that tunes who are slow in movement speed but are great extractors have a great chance of actually getting their hands on a machine this time. I can't tell you the amount of times I played Connie, V, or Sylvester and felt utterly useless or bored because I was never fast enough to get to a machine. Now let's go back to the negative. I mentioned the machine being 2 times faster, but that's wishful thinking. There's a possibility that the devs could make the machine work 2 times longer. If you remember back when the treadmill was first introduced, it used to be a lot slower. In fact, they purposely designed it that way despite them knowing that one big criticism of Danny's World is that the game is so damn slow. This truly was a Bloxology and Wonderworks moment. Anywho, since there's precedent for them doing this, I don't see why they couldn't make the same mistake again. If they do make it 2 times longer to complete, then not only does it destroy the purpose behind a 2-player machine, it would also screw over the slow extraction tunes since they'll be stuck in the exact same predicament of making the game feel like a drag. The players who get it the worst though are solo players. Imagine having to work on a machine that takes 2 times the amount to complete. You never want to play solo again, or the game itself for that matter, since solo players don't like working with the brainless of Danny's World. Jumping back to the optimistic side of things, assuming they do make the machines 2 times faster, there's a positive in the speed progression of the game. I mean, how many criticisms have you heard from those who don't like Danny's World refer to either the speed of the progression system or how long it takes until the game actually becomes interesting, which is around floor 20. It's incredibly slow, but having a machine that is 2 times faster would most help with that very issue. Additionally, it would also fix what Quell originally wanted to do when asking people in the Discord about the speed progression of the game. If you remember, she originally wanted to cut the number of machines completed per floor, since statistically most players die at around floors 3 to 5 or 10 to 15. This was later rejected by the usual suspects, but having something like this would fulfill that original desire. Jumping back, another potential negative, though I'm less worried about, is that they'll implement a higher floor barrier. What do I mean? Well, let's look at the already existing machines. Default spawns from the start of the game, which is no issue. Circle machines spawn after floor 1, so from 2 there on, which I guess is no problem. The treadmill, on the other hand, starts spawning on floor 5, which has its own set of problems that I've discussed in prior streams and maybe in videos. I'll link if I find one. Now imagine these double machines spawning at a much higher floor, say 8 or 10. Do I need to tell you why this sucks ass? For starters, the progression of the game won't get faster until X floor, which I don't think anyone would want. Imagine having to tell a friend, "Oh, don't worry guy, it gets good after floor 10. One Piece head ass excuse. To add on, slow extraction tunes will be a burden until X floor, assuming they're the type to not let go of machines. Slow tunes who are good at extraction will still have a hard time getting to machines until they reach that floor requirement. Their resource fighting will still continue from the early floors, which is something that we don't want. Something that is also a big issue if they do end up making a higher floor requirement is the survivability of the players. Do I really need to tell you how bad matchmaking is? I mean, you saw the research that Quell showed. Most players don't even survive to floor 15. Imagine going match to match, trying to reach the required floor for these machines to spawn, only for your teammates to die very early on. It would feel as though an update never dropped to begin with, or by the time that you've made it, there would only be a few members left. So please, dev team, do not make these floors have a higher floor requirement. Please, I beg of you. Regardless of it all, as I stated prior, there's no devlog at the time of my recording. We'll know soon enough later this week. I do hope that they thought things through. If they pull this off, then I'll be more optimistic about Danny's World's future. If not, then I'll remain pessimistic until the game truly improves. With that, I'm going to be calling it here. Goodbye. Goodbye.